everybody. I hope that you are well. And I also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today we'll be doing our grade 2 English lesson on irregular past tense. And before we start, we're going to log on to aplusstudents.ca. Once you've logged on to aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password, and then we're going to select the subject of English Language Arts, grade 2, and then we're going to scroll down up until we get to our chapter of irregular past tense. Right? So in our previous lesson, we also did irregular past tense and we had to identify the irregular past tense, right? So now we are going to continue with irregular past tense, and in our next lesson, we're also going to continue with irregular past tense. All right, so we said our chapter is irregular past tense. Our subject is English Language Arts. We're doing grade 2. And then the lessons that we are going to be focusing on today under the chapter of irregular past tense is to form and use irregular past tense. So that is going to be our lessons for today. So we're going to form and we're going to use irregular past tense. And like I said, this is a continuation of our previous lesson where we also did irregular past tense. But in our previous lessons, we had to identify irregular past tense. So now we're going to form and use irregular past tense. All right. And when it comes to irregular past tense, most of our verbs, right, it is regular in the past tense. And when we say that it is regular in the past tense, then it means that they follow a specific rule. And the rule is either to add ed or you need to add d to that verb to show the past tense form of the verb. Right? And if we look at examples of regular past tense, not irregular, regular past tense where we add a D or we add an ED to get the past tense form of the verb, then for example, if we say jump, right? In the past tense, we can say I jumped over the fence. You see, so we added an ED. Then we have the word dance. So if our verb ends with an E, like for example, dance, then it means that if we want to show the past tense form of that of this word, right? So now I dance, but in the past I danced, and then we just add a D. Watch. I watch a movie. Yesterday I watched a movie. Today I laugh at the movie or at the clips of the movie or at the scene of the movie. Yesterday I laughed while watching the movie. So do you see, this is regular past tense. And with regular past tense, all we do is we follow the rule of either adding a D or we adding an ED to our verb to show the past tense form of the verb. But now we also have irregular past tense. So now we also have irregular past tense. And when it comes to irregular past tense, right? Irregular past tense, they do not follow any rules. They don't follow any rules like add a D or add an ED. They don't follow any of those rules, which means that when it comes to the past tense form of that verb, then it means that you are going to have to remember and you're going to have to know the past tense form of that verb. Right? So you're going to have to remember the past tense form of that verb when it comes to the irregular past tense because we cannot say add a D, add an ED to an irregular past tense. With an irregular past tense, the wording changes when it goes from a present tense to the past tense. So you're going to have to just remember the form of that irregular past tense. All right. So now we're going to look at a few examples, right, of our irregular past tense. It says Mia left the party early. Mia left the party early. And this word left, right, is the past tense form for leave. So if I can say, no, I'm leaving, I leave the party like now. But in the past, we say, I left. And if you look at these two words, can you see how the wording changes from the present tense form leave to the past tense left? That is why we say that you cannot follow any rules. We cannot say add this, remove that when it comes to irregular past tense because the wording changes. So, which means that left is the irregular past tense of the word leave. Here's another one. It says Leah came over for dinner. Here we have the word came. Came is the past tense form, and it is the past tense form of come. So come is the word. It's like say, come to me, right? Come over here or come here. That is now in the present. But in the past tense, it is I came or I came to whatever, right? So came is the past tense of come. Elizabeth, are you saying you don't understand irregular past tense? All right. Okay. So once again, right? Let's say, for example, if we so we have regular past tense and we have irregular past tense, right? So with regular past tense, right, it means that your word just changes by adding a D or you're adding an ED to the verb to show the past tense, right? And with regular past tense, like I say, we made an example of jump, right? That is a verb. But now with regular past tense, if I want to show that I jump in the past, right, then we can say jumped. That's the past tense form of jump, right? So all we did was we add an ed, right? Regular, it's regular past tense, right? The same with if I were to say laugh, I laugh, but in the past I laughed, right? Or I watch a movie now, but in the past tense I watched a movie, right? So all we did was we added an ed to that verbs to show that it is in the past tense, right? But now, when it comes to irregular past tense, when it comes to the irregular past tense, we don't just add ed or we don't just add a d to show our verb is in the past tense. Like, look at this word, say. It says the children say their names, right? But if you were to say that word in the past tense, what do you think is the word say in the past tense? Say this whole sentence, but say it in the past tense. So, like now, we can say the children say their names. But yesterday, the children, what is this word? Their names. So this word say is going to change to said because said is the word that is the irregular past tense of say. Say is the word that is present tense, right? And in the past, I said something, right? So as you can see, if you look at the wording from say to said, it does not follow a rule. We cannot say remove the Y and put the I, right? with irregular past tense, you cannot follow any rules, right? Like we did with regular past tense, because the wording changes, right? Like here we say the children say their names, but in the past tense, the children said their names. Like look at this word. The girl feels sick for 3 days. What is the past tense of feel? What is the past tense of feel? The past tense of feel. And if we were to identify the past tense of feel, then we say the girl feels sick for 3 days, right? That is now. But if we look at this word in the past tense, then we can say the girl felt sick for 3 days, right? Yes, well done. Felt is correct. So felt is the irregular past tense of feel. Well done. Now look at this word also. This word is going to be similar to feel. Matt keep his book on his desk. What is the irregular past tense of keep? Matt keep his book on his desk. Yesterday, Matt what his book on his desk. We need to change this word to the past tense form. Keep. Keep is going to be similar to feel. And if we were to identify the past tense of the word keep, then we can say Matt kept his books on his desk, right? So do you see how the word changes from keep, which is the present tense, to kept in the past tense? So Matt kept his books on his desk, and that is now the past tense word of the word keep. And then if you look at this word year, what is the past tense of the word year? It says, have you heard about the new park? And when we identify the past tense, the irregular past tense of the word year, so the irregular past tense of the word year, we can say, have you heard about the new park? Right? So look at these words, right? These words are the irregular past tense of the words in brackets. And that is why we said that when it comes to the irregular past tense, then you cannot follow any rules. The wording changes. And when the wording changes, right, and then it just means that you are going to have to remember the past tense form of that specific word. All right. So, do we have a better understanding of what irregular past tense are, or do I have to go over it again? Anybody? Do we have? Do we understand irregular past tense, or should I go over it again? Everybody understand? Everybody okay? Can we continue? Elizabeth? All right, so I'm going to go over it again, right? All right, so once again, so we have irregular past tense. Okay, no problem. So we have firstly, we have regular past tense, right? And our regular past tense is like saying, um, I jump now, I jump on the couch. Yesterday, I jumped on the couch, right? So regular past tense, we add ed or d. So jumped or watched. These are words that we can say are regular past tense because we just add an ed or a d to that specific word. So it's like the word doesn't even change. We just add an ed or a d, right? But now when it comes to our irregular past tense, right? Irregular past tense, we don't just add a D or we don't just add an ED. The wording changes, right? So the wording changes. And if we look at an example, or if we look at a few more examples, right, of irregular past tense, here we said, for example, I say, or the children say their names. That is now, right? So the children say their names. That is now. But in the past, right? In the past, we can say the children said their names. So which means that the past tense form of the word say is said. So, which means that when it comes to the irregular past tense, we cannot follow any rules by saying, okay, just add a D, add an ED, remove something. No, the wording changes, right? Yes, the same like heard. I hear I hear what Miss Nadine is saying. Earlier on, I heard what she said, right? I feel sick now. So I feel sick now. And in the past, we can say, I felt sick. So the wording changes. So you are going to have to remember the past tense form of the verbs because I feel like that is not something that I can say, okay, add this, remove that. I cannot say that because the wording just changes. So you are going to have to remember the irregular past tense form. But if we look at more words, right? All right, let's look at more words. Let me do this. We're going to identify now a few more words of the irregular past tense. I'm going to write down a few words and you are going to write down, you're going to give me the past tense of that word, right? Because this is going to be irregular past tense. Like, look at the word sit. What is the past tense of sit? Make, go, run. We need to give the past tense of these words. See, fall, bite, eat. These are our present tense verbs, right? We need to give the irregular past tense verbs of these words. Yes, lovely. So the irregular past tense of the word sit, beautiful, would be sat. The irregular past tense of make is made, that is correct. Bite is bit, that is correct. Eat, the past tense of eat is ate, that is correct. The past tense of fall is I fell yesterday, or earlier on I fell. What is the past tense of run? Oh, we said the past tense of run is ran. I see the car. Yesterday I saw the car. What is the past tense of go? I go with my mom to the store. L- Yesterday I with my mom to the store. What is go? What is the past tense of go? The irregular past tense of go. Yes, and the irregular past tense of go, sorry, is went. Well done, right? So if you look at all these words, these are irregular past tense. These are not regular past tense. These are irregular past tense. And that is why all of these words are different, right? We did not follow rules. You just remembered the past tense forms of these words. So, which means that these are irregular past tense, right? The wording changes. Sit is in the present, but in the past it's sat. Make is now in the present, but I made something in the past, right? Go is something that I do now, but in the past I went to the shop. I run the race now, but in the past I ran the race. I see the big blue ball. I saw the big blue ball. I fall to the ground. I fell and hurt myself. I bite the apple. Yesterday I bit the apple. I eat my food. Last night I ate my food. Right? So those are irregular. Those are examples of irregular past tense. right? So, do we have an idea of what irregular past tense are now? Anybody? Can we continue or must we go over it again? Anybody? Everybody understand irregular past tense or should we go over it again? All right, so now we're going to aplusstudents.ca and we are going to form and use irregular past tense. All right. Right, and we said when it comes to regular past tense, and most of our verbs are regular past tense, which means that they follow a rule and add ed or they add d, right, to get the past tense form. However, some of our verbs are also irregular in the past tense, which means that they do not follow any rules. You're just going to have to remember the past tense form of that verb, right? And we made an example of feel, yeah. Okay, we made an example of that also. Okay, we made examples of feel, leave, as well as, yes, leave already. Let us go to our test where we are going to form and use irregular past tense. All right, it says Dana. We need to complete the sentence with the verb in the past tense. It says Dana, yeah, the band playing. We need to complete the sentence with the verb in the past tense. So Dana hear the band playing, but in the past, do we say Dana hears the band, option one, or Dana heard the band playing, option two? Which one is correct? Option one or option two? So hears or heard. All right. And if we were to choose our correct option, then yes, option two is correct because in the past we say Dana heard the band playing. So well done. Heard is correct. All right. The next one says, I tell mom that I wanted to go home. So tell is now in the present tense. We need to identify the past tense of the word tell. The past tense of tell is it tell option one or told option two. The past tense of tell. So which one is correct? Do we say I tell option one, Mama wanted to go home? Or in the past, I told Mom that I wanted to go home? Which one is correct? Guys, is it option one or option two? What is the past tense of tell? And if we were to choose the past tense of the word tell, then we can say the past tense of the word tell is told. I told Mom that I wanted to go home. So well done. Yes, told is correct. Sorry. And told is correct. Option two. Yes. All right, let's go to the next one. It says Luke feel good about his talk with Stacy. Or so now we need to choose the past tense form of feel. Is it option one, feel, or is it option two, which is felt? The past tense of the word feel. Is it feel or is it felt? The past tense of the word feel. Is it option one, feel, or is it option two, felt? Luke feel good about his talk with Stacy. Or do we say Luke in the past, Luke felt good about his talk with Stacy? All right, yes. And if we were to identify the correct past tense form, then we will say Luke felt good about his talk with Stacy because felt is in the past tense. So well done. All right, beautiful. Felt is correct. The next one says, I shouldn't have leave my flashing at home. Leave is now in the present. What is the past tense form of the word leave? Is it left? Option one. Or is it leave? Option two. So I shouldn't have left my flashing at home. Option one. Or do we say I shouldn't have leave my flashing at home? Option two. Which one is correct? The past tense form of that verb. So do we say I shouldn't have leave or I shouldn't have left? Which one is correct? All right. And if we were to identify the past tense form of the word leave, then we can say it is live. Well done. Lift is correct. All right, let's do the last one. It says the boy said that he wanted to go home. What is the past tense of the word say? Is it option one, said, or is it option two, says? The boy said that he wanted to go home, option one, or the boy says that he wanted to go home, option two. Which one is correct? All right, and if we were to choose the correct option that shows the verb within the past tense, then we can say the boy said that he wanted to go home. So well done. Said is correct. All right, so this is now the end of our lesson on irregular past tense. We said irregular past tense of verbs that basically you need to remember the past tense form within the when it comes to the past tense, right? All right. So this is the end of our lesson on irregular past tense. Thank you very much, grade twos, for joining the class, and I really hope that you're going to have a good day further. So till next time, goodbye.